The story of John Punch, often considered the first documented slave in the English colonies of America, is a pivotal yet often overlooked chapter in American history. His case in the 17th century set a significant precedent for the institutionalization of slavery based on race. Hidden within his story are the complex dynamics of early colonial laws, racial distinctions, and the origins of lifelong servitude that would later evolve into the entrenched system of chattel slavery. In the sweltering heat of the Virginia summer of 1640, three men plotted their escape from the grueling labor and harsh conditions imposed upon them. Among them was John Punch, an African indentured servant who had endured years of backbreaking work and scant freedom. Alongside him were two Europeans, Victor and James, each equally desperate for liberty. The trio's plan was daring and fraught with peril. They slipped away under the cover of night, traversing the dense forests and treacherous terrain of the Virginia countryside. For days, they evaded capture, driven by the hope of reaching a land where they could be free men. But their dreams of freedom were short-lived. They were apprehended and brought back to face the consequences of their escape. The Virginia General Court convened to pass judgment on the fugitives. Victor and James, being white, were sentenced to additional years of servitude as punishment. Their sentences were severe but finite. However, for John Punch, the court's decision was starkly different. Because of his African descent, Punch was condemned to serve his master for the rest of his life. This decree marked him as the first documented case of lifelong slavery in the English colonies, based explicitly on race. The courtroom fell silent as the judge pronounced the sentence. Punch stood, a mixture of defiance and despair etched on his face. He knew that this verdict was not just about his escape, but about the color of his skin. In that moment, the foundations of racial slavery in America were being laid. John Punch was led back to the plantation, his fate sealed. His story, however, did not end there. It reverberated through the colony, becoming a powerful symbol of the emerging racial hierarchy. Punch's lifetime sentence became a precedent, influencing future laws that would further entrench racial distinctions and institutionalize slavery. On the plantation, Punch's life was a relentless cycle of toil and hardship. Yet, he remained resilient. He forged bonds with other enslaved people, sharing stories and fostering a sense of community and resistance. They whispered about the injustices they faced, and their conversations became seeds of defiance that would grow in the generations to come. As the years passed, the Virginia colony codified laws that increasingly differentiated between white indentured servants and black slaves. The legal precedent set by John Punch's case was a cornerstone in the construction of a system that would enslave millions of Africans and their descendants for centuries. John Punch's legacy is a haunting reminder of the origins of racial slavery in America. His life and the court's decision in his case highlighted the brutal intersection of race and law that would shape the future of the colonies and the nation. While his name may not be widely known, the impact of his story is profound and far-reaching.